responsibility we take lightly. It brings no joy for us to do this, but the president's son broke the law and must be held accountable in the same way anybody else would. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to do so. And my last message to you, Hunter Biden, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Congress erupted into absolute chaos when Hunter Biden walked into the hearing room unannounced. Republicans demanded he be held in contempt and even arrested. Democrats fired back, accusing Republicans of being terrified to question him in public. Then came the challenge that changed the room. If you're not afraid, let's hear from Hunter Biden right now. What happened next exposed the deep political divide in Washington.
Here and
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
If
The ladies recognize.
if the gentlelady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr.
and
Chairman.
you
Let's
win
take a
stupid
vote and
prizes.
hear from
I'm
Hunter Biden.
speaking.
What are you
women
afraid
allowed
of?
to speak
Hold on,
here?
hold on, hold on.
Why-
Order,
why are you
order,
guys not
order.
willing to let
Miss
Are
us
Mace,
women
Miss
allowed to
Mace.
speak in
All
here
right.
or no?
Okay.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no?
Order.
Because you keep interrupting me.
I'll interrupt the
You keep
chairman. I don't know
interrupting.
that he's a lady.
I think that that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of law.
Come on.
And the premise
Come
that the
on.
law applies equally to everyone, no matter what your last
Point of order,
name.
Mr. Chairman. Point of
It
order.
doesn't matter who you are.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Biggs over here.
Donald Trump Jr.
Biggs over here.
State your point, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, my point of order is this. Are we going to continue on with this blatant interruption? This is absurd and inappropriate. I intend to give my statement. I don't intend to have anybody interrupted. I'm not going to interrupt your statements. I think you should have decorum and courtesy and don't act like a bunch of nimrods.
You just interrupted a woman.
And that's five.
I got permission.
Can we
I did.
agree? Everyone has
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes. Can we agree?
Point of order again. The assertion that I interrupted was absolutely false. That's typical of the gentleman who spoke it. I got permission to speak from the chairman. I spoke. I was interrupted yet again by the gentleman who doesn't choose to go through the chair and follow proper order. I encourage us. I think if we're going to have any respect at all, we need to have proper decorum.
Well said. Well said.
I'd like to finish.
The rules are everyone's going to be recognized for 5 minutes. Anyone that wants to be recognized will be recognized for 5 minutes. Ms. Mace has 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Chair recognizes Ms. Mace.
It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or who your father is, or your last name. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hunter Biden, as I'm speaking to you. You are not above the law at all. The facts in this case are crystal clear. This committee used and issued a lawful subpoena to Hunter Biden, a critical witness in this committee's investigation into Biden family corruption. Hunter Biden and his lawyers did not claim privilege of any kind because clearly he has none. They didn't contest the legitimacy of our reasons for issuing this subpoena, no reasons, because they clearly are legitimate. And yet he refused to comply. Trump's family members, Don Trump Jr., he did not defy a congressional subpoena. He showed up multiple times for multiple depositions for several hours. In doing so, Hunter Biden broke the law. He did so deliberately. You did so flagrantly. You showed up on the Hill, on the Senate side, the day of that congressional subpoena to defy it and spit in the face of this committee. That's what you did. The question the American people are asking us is, what is Hunter Biden so afraid of? Why can't you show up for a congressional deposition? You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth. Hunter Biden wasn't afraid to sell access to Joe Biden to the highest bidder when he was in elected office. He wasn't afraid to trade on the Biden brand, peddle influence, and share those ill-gotten gains with members of his family, including Joe Biden. He wasn't afraid to compromise the integrity of the presidency and vice presidency by involving Joe Biden in shady business deals with our foreign adversaries. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition, and you still can't today. I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now, because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power of a congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refuse to comply with a congressional subpoena accountable. And I stood with each and every one of you. I am the only member in this room today who has held a member of my own party in contempt of Congress for not showing up for a subpoena. And I see nothing but complete hypocrisy on the other side of the aisle. The ranking member of this committee even so eloquently put it, the lesson is, please tell your children out there in America, if you get a subpoena to go before Congress, go. You have a legal responsibility to do so. So the hypocrisy is stunning. What are we to tell our children today? There's nothing the other side can say with a straight face. As the only member of this committee to vote to hold a member of contempt of my own party, let me be clear, this should not be a partisan issue. If Congress issues a subpoena, you show up, period. This is not a responsibility we take lightly. It brings no joy for us to do this, but the president's son broke the law and must be held accountable in the same way anybody else would. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to do so. And my last message to you, Hunter Biden, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Will the gentlelady yield for a question? Will the gentlelady yield? Will my friend yield from South Carolina?
Sure.
I do want to commend the gentlelady who was the only Republican who stood up and voted to hold in contempt the Republican members of the House who blatantly and categorically refused to comply with subpoenas that came from the bipartisan January 6th committee. I would like to ask my friend, Ms. Mace from South Carolina, whether she's aware of all the case law which says that the committee has to engage in good faith interaction with the witnesses they've called, and they're supposed to arrive at a solution. And what do you think about the fact that the chairman on multiple occasions gave this witness the opportunity to come before the full committee, and he agreed to that?
We issued a congressional subpoena, and I know with your constitutional law background, you know exactly what that means, and he should have showed up. And because of your vote and because of your statements, you should be voting to hold this man in contempt of Congress today, right now, if you're going to be consistent on your own policies and your own words.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Chair recognizes Mr. Moskowitz for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's good to see you after a long break. So I'm listening to the gentlelady from South Carolina about the witness being afraid to come in front of the committee. It's interesting. He's here. He doesn't seem to be too afraid. In fact, for some reason, the chairman, who on multiple occasions invited the witness to come on TV, apparently the chairman wants to pretend like his statements on television or in interviews don't matter, but it didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it happened multiple times. The chairman said the witness can choose whether to come to a deposition or to a public hearing in front of the committee. The witness accepted the chairman's invitation. It just so happens the witness is here. If the committee wants to hear from the witness, and the chairman gave the witness that option, then the only folks that are afraid to hear from the witness with the American people watching are my friends on the other side of the aisle. I don't know if there's a proper motion, Mr. Chairman, but I'll make a motion. Let's vote. Let's take a vote. Who wants to hear from Hunter right now, today? Anyone? Come on. Who wants to hear from Hunter?
Motion's out of order. Yeah.
No one. So I'm a visual learner, and the visual is clear. Nobody over there don't want to hear from the witness.
The House Oversight Committee hearing turned into one of the most dramatic confrontations of the year when Hunter Biden appeared in person while lawmakers debated whether to hold him in contempt of Congress. Republican Representative Nancy Mace opened with a blistering attack. She accused Hunter Biden of ignoring a lawful congressional subpoena and argued that no American should be above the law, regardless of their last name or political connections. Mace claimed Hunter Biden deliberately defied Congress by refusing to appear for a closed-door deposition. According to her, he chose instead to make public statements and create what she described as a political spectacle. She argued that if ordinary citizens are expected to comply with congressional subpoenas, then the president's son should be held to exactly the same standard. The hearing quickly became heated. Members repeatedly interrupted one another, points of order were raised, and the chairman struggled to maintain control of the room. Then, Democrats pushed back. Representative Jamie Raskin pointed out that Nancy Mace had previously voted to hold members of her own party in contempt for refusing congressional subpoenas. However, he argued that congressional committees also have an obligation to negotiate in faith grade with witnesses and work toward reasonable accommodations. The most dramatic moment came when Representative Robert Garcia challenged Republicans directly. Garcia noted that Hunter Biden was physically present in the hearing room and appeared willing to speak publicly. His argument was simple. If Republicans truly wanted answers, why not let the American people watch the questioning live? Garcia repeatedly called for a vote to allow Hunter Biden to testify immediately. Looking across the room, he challenged committee members to raise their hands if they wanted to hear directly from the witness. No vote happened. That moment instantly became the focal point of the hearing. Republicans maintained that the issue wasn't whether Hunter Biden was willing to speak publicly. Their argument was that he ignored the specific format required by the subpoena, a private deposition under oath before a public hearing. Democrats argued that transparency was exactly what the public deserved and suggested that some Republicans preferred political headlines over direct testimony. In the end, neither side changed positions. Republicans framed the controversy as a straightforward issue of accountability and compliance with congressional authority. Democrats framed it as evidence that some lawmakers were avoiding public testimony that could challenge their narrative. What everyone could agree on was this. The hearing revealed just how polarized Washington has become, where even the question of how a witness should testify turns into a political battlefield. And the image that many viewers will remember isn't the speeches or the accusations. It's the challenge hanging in the air. If Hunter Biden is sitting right there, why not question him right now? Whether you agree with that challenge or not depends largely on which side of the political divide you're standing on.